She draped herself in the Israeli flag. Why? Do we really want to support Netanyahu dropping bombs on kids? Israel controls Australia, and Israel controls both left and right. They lead to a one world government run out of Jerusalem. Good morning there, folks. Jamie McIntyre here from the Australian National Review, ANR.news. You follow our 24-hour news headline. Let's talk about Australia right now and Pauline Hanson. The fact that many Australians are still confused about what the real problems are and how to solve them. And many people thinking about voting for Pauline. So obviously on X, I'm posting going, look, I don't think that's a good idea because what flag did Pauline Hanson drape herself in Canberra Parliament like 18 months ago? If she's a nationalist leader and cares for Australia so much as she claimed, and I'm not against Pauline, I met her briefly many years ago. I think she's done a lot. She's a genuine person and has done a lot for Australian politics. She mightn't be the smartest person in the room and she doesn't know everything about everything, but at least she's got some guts and balls and, has been right on many things. So it's not a criticism of Pauline, but it's like many people, is that she draped herself not in the Australian flag, folks. She draped herself in the Israeli flag. Why? Why was she on the news last week being interviewed, for us, a potential leader, questions, and she has an Israeli Australia pin badge on her? Is she representing Australians and standing for Australia like a nationalist leader should be? That's an alternative to left faction Zionists, either Labour Party globalist puppets installed around the world, left faction globalist puppets, which many of us reject. And now we reject the right side of politics because we know they're controlled as well. Like, do we really want to support Netanyahu dropping bombs on kids? Oh no, but the conservatives are meant to support. No, we don't have to. Like, look, a MAGA is dead in America. Look what Tucker Carlson and them are creating America first again, because many of us in Australia are about to make the same mistake and elect or vote for Pauline Hanson. I understand why. Because you're sick of the left. I mean, who would vote for Albanese? You have to be brain dead to do that. Who would vote for your right faction leaders? The coalition's a joke in Australia. And the new leadership at My Adventure Repair Itself. Left and right faction is controlled. All those roads lead to not a democracy. They lead to a one world government run out of Jerusalem. And two, Australians understand, just like I told people when I was at Washington reporting live for Australian National Review at CPAC 18 months ago. People voted and supported Trump. We even endorsed Trump because we were told, we were promised America first. Just like we want Australia first, America first, end all these wars. No more Israel first. The hell with Israel. So we voted or supported Trump. But when I was there 18 months ago, I had to report the truth. Australian National Review, independent media, we have to tell you the truth, even if you're not going to like us telling you the truth. And here's the truth, Australians. As we told Americans, Trump is a Zionist. The entire administration of Trump. If you're not a Zionist, you don't get to be in that administration. They're controlling CPAC. They control Trump and its Israeli-led occupied administration, maybe more Zionist than ever. Sadly, we hope for a political revolution, but all they did was throw the left globalist swamp. Let's drain the swamp. We thought, yeah, we support the Trump. We support Trump. We support draining the swamp. We're sick of this corruption. We want a political revolution. Let's get rid of these globalists, this transgender bullshit, this woke nonsense, this Davos crowd, this World Economic Forum crowd where you'll own nothing but be happy. These globalist puppets they install when they call it a democracy, but they dictate who will be your prime minister. Yes, let's get rid of that. We all support that. And we thought we'd get a political revolution. No. We simply got right faction Zionism shoved down our faces. Masquerading as America first, but all it is Israel first. Israel first. Israel first. It's no longer possible to deny that America is occupied by Israel. If you're going to sit here and think, oh, well, what about Australia? If you haven't figured out yet, Israel controls Australia and Israel controls both left and right, why do you think there was a Bondi massacre? Who was behind that? I'll tell you a conspiracy theory in the conspiracy theory channels in Australia, such as Channel 7, 9 and 10 and ABC, that it was some terrorists. Yet anyone can debunk that. Anyone can go and research that 90% of terrorist attacks and massacres since the day you were born were conducted by Mossad. When we investigated Australian National Review, Bali bombings, I just wondered if Mossad had something to do with that. Guess what we found? Not only did Mossad do the Bali bombings, Islamic extremism, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, all creations of Israel, recruiting extremists to send them in their country to do massacres, to then push through laws such as anti-Semitism laws or removal of your privacy. But what we found is they also are behind Port Arthur massacre. How many years since Port Arthur massacre and you still haven't figured out that there's foreign influence in our world? How many years has it been since September 11th, 2001? 25 years, a quarter of a century. How many dumbed-down Westerners have fed so many conspiracy theories on Fox News, Sky News, Channel 7, 9, 10, CNN, whether it's left or right faction media, and still haven't figured out Israel did September 11th. We put up $1 million challenge that 24 hours that October 7th was a false flag. And before we start investigations, here's $1 million anyone wants to challenge us that you will find out in the future that Israel was behind October 7th. We increased that to $10 million in 48 hours and they've been proven right. If you don't know yet, if you swallow fake news media, pushed to you by these people that control and own the media, that tell you conspiracy theories and then going to suggest Mr. McIntyre's a conspiracy theorist because he said Bondi massacre was done by Israel. I'm not saying it was done by Israel. I'm just saying here's $10 million Australian in assets. And if you don't think it was done by Israel, bet me, I'll toss your house for it. I have certainty. Most people don't. Call out the bullshit. They won't take up the bet because they'll be proven wrong. October 7th, Israel. Who's created Hamas? Who funded Hamas up to 2012 and have begged to do it ever since? And who shuffled them billions in cash? Who do you think is flooding the West and Australia with mass immigration if it's not Israel? But then they want you to stand with Israel. This is the confusing part. People don't understand. I'm against immigration, so I'll vote Pauline Hanson. Makes sense, right? Not knowing that Pauline Hanson is controlled by Israel. Look up the clergy plan. Don't take my word for it. Look up the clergy plan. How do you think there's so many machetes in Australia right now? In Victoria, they have machete bins. Kind of like in Indonesia where I live in 1965. Israel flooded Indonesia with machetes, did a coup, threw out their popular leader Sukarno, and then provided weapons, including machetes, to locals, and said, if you don't kill these people who voted for Sukarno, we will kill you. 1 to 3 million people genocide. Look anywhere in history, any country, Vietnam, Israel controlled US foreign policy. Israel's behind that genocide. What about the atomic bombs? We're on the side that dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Who do you think invented those bombs? And who do you think had those bombs dropped and controlled US foreign policy to do it? Israel, the founders of Israel. Find me a genocide. Find me a massacre. Find me where Christians are being slaughtered, that Israel is not behind it. They're playing you like fools. Mossad, look it up. War by deception. They're deceiving you, Australia. So if you want change in Australia, stop voting left or right. You don't live in a democracy and demand a nationalist leader.